Okay, the time is 5:01. We'll open the November 2023 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We have one agenda item, and then we'll review our minutes after that. Are you Ms. Messenger?
I am.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. So 27 Railroad Avenue.
Correct.
Susan,
Yes.
you said November 20.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
December.
December. Okay.
You're right. I was looking at the minutes and I spoke wrong.
Yeah, I can tell.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay.
So 27 Railroad Avenue.
You want me to stay here? You want me to come up?
Come on up and we'll hear you better.
Just a little bit,
Yeah,
awkward being so far away.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's being recorded, even though that sometimes doesn't pick everything up, but speak nice and clear, and we'll try to do the same. So we've had a few emails back and forth because your application is for an accessory dwelling unit, which is a process that will require a public hearing. We can absolutely take that course. But your other option is to develop it as a two-family property, which is permitted by right and doesn't go through the same process. So we wanted to just kind of.
So it's easier in other words.
Yeah, it's simpler unless there's a benefit to you in doing the other way, which we.
What are the ramifications of each of them?
See, the only one that I can think of, and if anyone has a different perspective on this, is that the way that our law is set up right now, when you have a house and an accessory dwelling unit, it's still considered a single-family dwelling as the use of the property. And with a single-family dwelling, if you ever wanted to apply for a special permit for renting short-term within your house itself, not in the ADU, but like a bedroom, or I don't know how many bedrooms you have, there are a lot of rules about short-term rentals, but at least that would be a potential option. Whereas in a two-family use, you can't do short-term rentals at all.
Okay.
You can, in either time, you can rent long-term, which is 30 days or more. So it's really just kind of a, the old-fashioned.
Long-term is anything out over 30 days?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not very long.
No, it's not.
No, it's really the difference between kind of a B&B, traditional B&B sense, or, at least the kind of transiency.
Are taxes changed? Is there a difference there?
I do not know. I think that's a good question, and I'd be interested in the answer. I would say that to answer that, you would need to talk to the village assessor, Al Keck. Do you know Al?
Sort of.
A little bit,
Not
okay.
well, yeah.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, that would be a factor I would want to know.
Sure.
In making my decision.
Yeah, either one, there'd be a change, because if you're developing, a new dwelling unit, obviously that's gonna increase the value of your property, and that, I'm sure, would be reflected in the assessment. But whether there's a difference in which label it gets, I don't know, but Al would know.
Okay.
So I suppose if there's other kind of research like that, we could set up the public hearing, assuming that you decide ultimately to do the accessory dwelling unit, and then, because that's the one that will require a public hearing, unless you're in no hurry at all, and we could wait another month until you have had a chance to talk to Al and see which direction you want to go, and we'd set up a public hearing then.
I'm busy this week, but I could talk to him next week. Is he here full-time, do you know?
Not full-time, but.
But he's here most days.
Most days?
Yeah.
I guess that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Is he here
Okay.
5
He's here
days?
almost
Okay.
daily.
Yeah.
He's on the third floor?
He's right in the main
Oh,
office
isn't he?
business now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
And just to be clear, if you did want to go that route, it wouldn't require waiting for a public hearing. If you did choose a two-family,
Yeah,
it could
two
be granted
families
instantly,
is
as it were.
Okay.
Do we want to schedule the public hearing?
Well, that's
And
what I
then
was,
she can cancel it, or is that too difficult with
The public hearing doesn't have to,
notifications?
the notification doesn't have to go out until 10 days before the actual hearing date, so I could get it in the works, and that buys us a little time. If she wants to do the two-family dwelling, then I won't mail it out, and if not, we can still.
I don't think there would be, that the short-term rental that doesn't really strike me as as being a factor.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
then I think you're right to kind of figure out
Then
whether
if
the appraisal
if there's
is
a big
somehow
difference in
assessment
real
is
estate taxes, that
Sure.
could be more of a factor.
Makes sense.
I agree.
I mean, if it were, one decision would be made and then say down the years, through the years, say my daughter and son-in-law are living in the house, which was our kind of impetus to get this going. If they wanted to do something, if they wanted to change it, could they go through the process and change it?
Yes, although I'd say the law is continually being tweaked, so assuming that nothing changed, absolutely, you could do it next year or 10 years or whenever. But if it's been tweaked in whatever way it is, then
They have to go with what's
then you
current
just,
at the time.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. So no guarantees on that one.
right.
Okay.
But, yeah, the law could change.
So so just to reiterate, the difference between the one family and the two family, one of the differences is the hearing, the public hearing. And the other difference, the short-term rental, which is less than 30 days, or?
Right, and if you wanted to someday, or now, whatever, if you wanted to pursue the special permit for a short-term rental, that also requires a public hearing, so it's, so
I
whenever.
mean, we're talking about
whenever-
Dreams Park here, or B&B, that kind of
That's
thing?
mostly what the demand is for.
Yeah, to be clear, it's, if you have an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, the main house has to be owner occupied.
Right,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not two-family with each family having responsibility for his dwelling. I'm responsible, so I have to live there.
Okay.
With an ADU. If I have an ADU, I'm living there, I could, if my kids move out after college, I could take one of the rooms in my house and rent it out short-term, to Dreams Park, to whatever. Do that short-term Dreams Park rental.
with a special permit.
With a special permit, yes, I'd have to get permission, but at the moment, that's the way I could be set up.
Right.
That would require a special hearing and a special permit to do that. Now, if you changed it to no special permit, no public hearing, and just had a two-family property, the law says you cannot have a permit to rent out, to do Dreams Park rentals.
Okay.
Short-term rental's not allowed to.
So it would be
Not at all.
easier,
Okay.
yeah, right,
Okay.
so,
Now-
so in other words, it would be easier to call it a two-family property. And what you'd be giving up is the easy opportunity to rent short-term. You could rent long-term, like the visiting nurses and things like that, but you couldn't do the short-term vacation rentals. So that's the difference, and yeah, I'd be really curious to find out what you find out about the tax, property tax, because I've not asked that question.
I think that's probably something that should,
Yeah,
as different people apply for this,
sure,
I'm sure I'm not the only one who would want to know that.
yeah. I just thought, as you were talking, one other minor difference, but two-family dwellings don't require owner occupancy on the property at all, so, but if you are an owner, you could live in either dwelling and rent the other out, or use it for friend or family, or whatever, rent it long-term. Whereas ADUs require owner occupancy of the primary house, of the big dwelling, not the garage dwelling.
Okay. That's helpful.
Okay,
Yeah, so if it's a two-family going forward, take me 25 years from now, your son and daughter-in-law could, move to Florida and rent the house and rent the apartment. If it was a two-family, but it wouldn't be as easy for them to do that if it were an ADU, because they would have to be on site.
Okay. Thank you.
okay, all right, so, and you want to get this, you want to keep this on the path to kind of resolution, because.
I'd like to. I spoke to my builder, and he's finished with his other job early January.
Okay,
And weather permitting. But if I could keep it on track, that would keep
Okay,
his schedule on track.
so we'll set up a public hearing for our January meeting, and I would say within the next week or week and a half, please get back with Chris and tell him if you've changed your mind after you've talked to Al about, and whatever.
Okay,
Thought this through.
okay, so we'll go with the more stringent,
We'll
which
set
is
it-
the
we'll set
ADU
it up
with
so
that,
that
and then
Yeah.
we could cancel the other if I go with the two families, is that what you're
Right,
saying?
exactly, because we will have a public hearing in January and most likely be able to make a decision at that meeting. So if you have construction scheduled in January, you'll be able to get a zoning permit. Otherwise, you'd have to wait till the next month if we delayed the public hearing. We didn't set
Okay,
it
no,
up
I
till
don't
next
want to
month.
delay
Yeah,
that. so
we'll-
don't-
Okay, but do get back with him, in the next week or week and a half,
Okay,
so that, he doesn't have to do paperwork or mail out notices, and then it gets canceled and people get confused.
But the January meeting will be early in the month.
The second?
Second.
Is it, just- okay,
I don't know what date it is.
The second
It
is
is.
the
Okay.
first
So it is.
right,
Tuesday.
So it's not a lot of time.
no, yeah,
Okay,
okay, that's true, it's coming up.
thank you.
The way days fall these days, okay. And I would, so one of the other things is parking for both uses. And I see what you provided here, this actually doesn't meet our parking requirement, because you can't have, the only parking that you can have stacked is our like 2 spaces for a single residence. So in this case, the way it's drawn, in order to get the car out of the garage, you have to move 2 other cars.
Mhm.
So there needs to be arrangement for,
It's, my driveway is wide enough
okay,
so that if there is a car, you can get beyond it. So it would only be one car that would have to move.
so,
If I'm in the garage and
Yeah.
I have company, one car moves out and the other car's there, and I get out.
but you're required to have 2 spaces for the house and 1 for the ADU,
Yes,
because it's based on bedrooms, so you need 3 total.
yes,
So
I
come
do.
up here and let me just ask a question.
For the house that's
So
stacked.
This is your house,
Mhm.
this is your garage, that you're gonna put up.
Right.
Is it possible to put 2 spaces over here and still get this car out?
It might be, I don't know. I could probably extend the widen the blacktop a little bit.
Because you'll need 3 parking spaces, that's the only,
But I guess what I'm saying here is if this one goes over here,
yeah,
then there's only one car that, they go side by side. There's room for side by side, and one gets out.
okay.
And
Well,
then,
then you can mark it over here.
Yeah, I would say then you had indicated somewhere in that this was gonna be the parking space for the ADU.
correct,
But in fact, this would have to be the parking space, because it doesn't really.
It's a long
matter which parts
side.
were- Yeah, but the 2 that are stacked, only 2 can be stacked to
mhm.
meet the requirement for the house. The
Yeah.
other one has to be free to move in and out. Since it's all
But yeah,
family,
but
you
that's,
can do
yeah, right, that's what
whichever
I'm
parking
saying.
you want.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay,
It does work.
okay,
It's just, this drawing is not what I usually use.
okay, so you would have 1 in front of the garage door, 1 to the
Mhm.
right of that, and 1
Correct.
in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it
just, you can change that then.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll change that for the
Mhm.
files.
Okay.
to
Yeah.
represent
I
correctly.
should make it clear for the file,
Yes,
so we know what we're voting on.
yeah, yeah,
right.
Or
Yeah,
whereas
that
10
was a
years
good-
from now, when
good
it has to
point.
be revisited.
Yeah, yeah.
They know what we did.
okay. All right, so the public hearing will be held next month. And
Okay.
as you said, if you change your mind and go to 2-family, then just let him know before he sends the messages out.
Okay.
All notices.
Okay, and find out though about the taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we will.
let us know.
I don't know why I was ever asked.
Or you'll let us know if she's.
Oh, yeah, sure, everyone's interested, I
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the assessment rules are, I would imagine, have a lot of nuances and complications in them, so I don't know what logic would have applied in that kind of situation.
But Al will know.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
been assessor for a long time. Okay,
What
thank you.
happens when he stops doing that job?
I don't know.
Somebody else will
I
have
don't
to.
know, are
Gotta
we
keep
grooming
somebody.
somebody?
Yeah,
He needs to have, he needs to groom somebody.
Maybe all taxes will just freeze.
okay. We'll go for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, so we have minutes and then we can go home.
Well, I actually read the minutes.
Oh, good.
And I did my homework. I would make a motion to, I don't want to rush anybody to get it done, but I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? So, let's see,
Look good to me.
Unless I missed something.
I
you
guess,
know, I
so
wasn't
the
relying
four of
on-
us, I think we're there. Oh, no, Jeff was here too. Okay, everybody was here. All right, so all in favor? Or
Aye.
anyone in favor? No opposed? Nobody? Thank you. All right, thank you.
You have to
Meeting's adjourned.
adjourn, move to adjourn.
Yeah, I never do that, I should probably.
Should there be a discussion? Well, should
Oh, we're not,
No
no
discussion, don't discuss motions to adjourn according to.
Oh, you don't discuss those, Robert's rules of order? I should read that. Well, actually, I had to read it in high school. It's probably enlightening.
So what's the value of having the motion for? If there's
You're not going to
discussion?
discuss it.
I guess